The 2024 ILCA Midwinter Championship was hosted by St. Petersburg Yacht Club. With 207 boats, including 41 in the 7 class, the event was held out of Elva Rouse Park in downtown St. Petersburg. We started the weekend with a 12-hour drive over 2 days from Richmond, arriving on Wednesday ahead of the 4-day event. Day 1 at Laser Midwinters East here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's nice and sunny, kind of cool in the 50s. We're expecting some light wind. We had a gorgeous sunrise as we were getting to the boat park this morning to get rigged, and looking forward to a 41 boat fleet of racing today. Well, out on the race course, we got 6-7 knots of wind. It's a little bit cool, but air temperature is probably in the low 60s. And we're under postponement at the moment, and we'll get going here shortly. We got the first race off in about 6 knots of wind. The 7s were on the outer course. I went way out to the right and did okay and was about mid-fleet by the top mark. I lost and gained on the next 2 legs to roughly hold my spot, and then on the final downwind leg, I lost my grip and slipped off the boat, pulling it over with me. By that point, the downwinds and the light air with the current were so unexciting, I had turned the cameras off, so you don't get to see that. It took a few tries to get the boat back up, and when I did, I'd lost a few places to end up in 26th. Well, the wind died and they abandoned the racing for the other 3 fleets and postponed us on the water. And we're still just hanging out here waiting to see if the wind will fill in, if we can get another race in. They must have called it because all the coach boats pulled their lines and are starting to make way. Day 2 at Laser Midwinters East. Another very light air day expected. So we'll see what happens with the weather and what time we go out. Well, they've postponed us ashore. The tentative plan is to send us out around noon and tow us about 4 miles south, where they think they'll get the sea breeze first. So we'll get to sail in the late afternoon. And well, we got the long tow out about 5 miles south of St. Petersburg, and it's about 1 o'clock, and there is no wind to be found out here, so we're just floating around waiting for the sea breeze to come. We sat around for about 3 hours. The wind never filled, and finally we ran out of time before we'd have to get back in before the sun sets, and they called it a day. It's Saturday, day 3 of Midwinters. We've been postponed ashore for about 2 hours and waiting to see if the wind will fill. It is super foggy out on the water and very unstable out there, so not sure if there's going to be enough wind. We're going to find out in another half hour or so at the coaches meeting. After a few hour postponement on land and a long tow out on the water, we are finally out on the race course about 4.8 miles south of St. Petersburg, and we've currently got 4 or 5 knots of wind. They're setting a course. It's certainly not the sea breeze, but it might just be enough to race in. We got a race in. The wind started in the 4 to 6 range. I had a terrible start in the middle of the line, but after a couple tacks, I was able to find a lane and just went up the middle right and just kept my boat speed up and kept clear air and was in the top 20 pretty much all the way around the rest of the course. And then downwind just held my position and finished 16th, I believe. So the sea breeze came in and the race committee had enough time to get the radials and the 4.7s off on their second races, but didn't have enough time to get a third race for the 7s, so they sent us in. On Sunday, for the final day of the regatta, storms rolled through in the morning while racing was postponed. With the late start, windy conditions, and sailing late in the day, we elected instead to do some tourist stuff and get an early start on the trip home. The fleets did get 2 races completed. Thanks to St. Petersburg Yacht Club, the Bronze, and my wife for making this weekend possible.